Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody, to the town board meeting of Tuesday, October 9th, 2018. And start off with some announcements. We have the Chappaqua Harvest Fest Pumpkin Patch this Saturday, October 13th, 11 to 3, at the Church of St. Mary the Virgin, which is next to the Bell School. And there will be games, pumpkin decorating, a bake sale, and food, and Pumpkin Patch will stay open until 5. We have Jordan Matter book launch and presentation. That's on this coming weekend as well, on Sunday, October 14th from 5 to 7 at the Chappaqua Performing Arts Center. And that's sponsored by Scattered Books and the Arts and Culture Committee. The Ragamuffin Parades, Sunday, October 21st. Carnival begins at 12 p.m. Rides, food, and music. The parade starts at 3:30 at the Chappaqua train station. Fall Festival, Newcastle Fall Festival, it's Saturday, October 27th, 12 to 5 at Gedney Park. And like last year, we're going to have a band and a stage and food trucks and rides and bouncy castles, face painting. Admission is free. You pay for your food and beverages. And the Chicos will be there with beer as well. So, on to my supervisor's report. First thing I want to do, I'm just going to read this one section. And this is about Downtown Chappaqua Infrastructure Project CAS. If I say anything wrong, you'll correct me when we go to your report. In case I'm doing anything wrong with the everything. Okay, so drainage work on North Greeley from King to Maple is on hold as we continue to wait for Verizon to move their underground lines. The relocation of the Verizon lines are in conflict with our proposed drainage piping almost 400 feet, and that delays our curb and sidewalk work. Drainage work on South Greeley from Lower King to the Triangle is on hold as we wait for existing overhead wires on the pole south of Starbucks to be relocated and the pole to be removed. The rain and tornado have not helped, as Con Ed and Verizon resources were allocated elsewhere. We lose 1 to 2 days every rain event. Excavation for curbing on Washington to Woodburn Avenue on the library side has begun. We plan to install the granite curbing as follows. From Bischoff, going south towards the post office, Washington Avenue, the library side, and go north to Woodburn Avenue, then Woodburn Avenue to Lower King.
No.
No?
Now, after that will be from Family Bridges on Upper
Wait.
King, Family Bridges from Upper King, going up to the Historical Society, because we need to get the curbing for the poles to be installed for Con
Okay,
Ed.
so Family Bridges, and then we're gonna go Upper King to the Historical
Center
Society.
Street, and
Right,
then
right.
the corner at the Historical Society.
Oh, so Center Street also.
So I'm sorry, just a quick
Okay, I
question about
actually
that.
have the next
Are
one,
you
okay.
are we pulling out the sidewalk at the same time?
No, what they're gonna do is,
So come to the
We're-
mic, please, I'm sorry, as long as you're
okay,
close.
what we're gonna do is we are going
Move
to.
it back if you want to. Close.
You know, personal. You know what I mean? This way you can hit me with something. No, we're going to put the curb in, because it goes out about 20 feet out into the
Right.
road to do that.
Right.
And then we'll remove the asphalt and the existing curb. They're gonna put I-4 in it, and we're gonna pave it. Because we know we're not gonna be able to take everything out before Thanksgiving, so we're just gonna get the 2 poles in, get it all paved so that it's usable with everything that's there, and then that'll be it for this year in that area.
Okay.
Okay, so after we go from Washington Avenue to Library Side and go north to Woodburn Avenue, then we're gonna do Family Bridges, Upper King, and do Center Street as well.
Yes.
And then, so that had that, and then we would do, after that, Woodburn to Lower King, or no?
No, then we're gonna go probably from,
Washington Avenue?
Washington on the on the west side. From
Town hall
there
side.
up to Washburn, maybe just up to the culvert
Yeah.
because of the gas station, what's going on with the gas station.
Okay, so maybe up to the gas station or the Woodburn Avenue, either
up
one.
to there.
Okay. All right, that was my infrastructure and streetscape update.
Yep.
You want to do yours now, just to continue with it? Or I'll continue my supervisor's report after if you want. So why don't you just,
Okay, so where we are now, I spoke with Con Ed. They are fully completed from Woodburn to Town Hall with all of their work. They submitted all the paperwork in for the polls that now goes to Verizon and Altice. I spoke to Altice today. They informed me that they called their sub, I've been speaking to him the last week or so. They called him yesterday. He called them again this morning. He said he will call me tomorrow because they have like 3 locations from Woodburn down to get off of like 3 poles, and then it's up to Verizon at that point for their 3 poles to get it. That's what we're trying to do, get them eliminated so we can do the sidewalk with it.
And then Verizon would take the poles.
And then, yes, and the poles will be out. At this point, once we get the curb in, they get the last 2 poles. I spoke to Dominic today, he's the foreman for overhead, to see what their stand is. Their plan is next week to come in at nights. They're waiting for their customer service people to contact the businesses. They line up to shut the powers off, all the secondary powers to all the businesses. They want to do it at night, but they're running into the same thing. The building owners don't want to do it at night, the merchants don't want them to do it during the day. So
Are
they're
any
kinda-
residents affected by that?
Well, just the stores. Well, the only residents that'll be affected are those apartments on Lower King, but it's pretty quick. It's like within an hour, you lose your power for an hour or 2, but the businesses are the ones that really have the biggest complaints with that. So they're, and that's pretty much it. Everything else, we're waiting to go. We don't want to open too much. If you'll notice, when we start doing the curbs in front of like the school, we're just going to pull the curb out now and put the curb in, because we don't want to get caught with the sidewalk out and then something happen, Thanksgiving. I mean, it's supposed to start dropping the highs of 55 next week. So who knows? We've had blizzards on Halloween, so who knows? So we're just kind of walking very gently. I know, but I think last year was Halloween, they canceled it because of a blizzard. So we're walking in slowly. We don't open too much and then have it all fall apart, that we can't finish it.
So what you did in front of the library, you're putting the sidewalks in? Or you're just gonna put in the?
We're gonna put the curb now.
Another curb.
And we're gonna shoot to do the sidewalk. The reason they took the sidewalks out there is because it went right up to the curb. So when you took out the curb, it kind of came out with it. If worse comes to worse and they can't get the conduits in and do it, they'll pave it.
Right,
We'll
right.
put a sidewalk
So we
back
don't
in with
know if it's
asphalt.
sidewalks, they'll pave
They
it.
just don't want to open up too much of it where we have to put it all back in like that.
Right.
And the library construction is not going to impact our sidewalks, correct?
No, not that I know of.
No, but-
I'll talk to MVM, I know them, so. I just found out that's who's working there, but I know those people.
Sorry if I'm asking you to repeat yourself, but are any of our new sidewalks going to be installed before the holiday season?
From what I can see now, probably from the post office up to Bischoff, all that sidewalk will be in. Now, there's no paver brick strip there, it's just concrete sidewalk.
Right.
That's why it's
So it's
gonna
not
be a little
quite
bit
the-
quicker, it's not as hard. And there's no lights up there, so you have none of the footings, you have none of the trees, you have none of the light posts and all of that. And I know
folks are
Boswell.
really excited to see what the new sidewalks will look like. So those
Yeah.
aren't actually representative of the sort of look and feel of the
Yeah.
main kind
And
of
there are-
suburban
You settle
area.
for a curb.
We'll settle for.
The shot
curbs.
now is, if any place we're gonna see that, will be in front of the school. That's probably the one that would be ready first and fully ready to put paver bricks and everything in. If
Nice to have one done, almost like.
one section done. so you
Model
can see
home type of
something,
thing.
yes.
exactly.
Yes. Worked for me too, so. All right, and that's pretty much it. And everything's, everything else is moving forward.
So you dragged Sean out here for this?
Well, I just wanted her to see, we were going over something tonight, so I figured,
Thank you for coming.
this is what she's in for. All right, talk to you later, thanks.
See you later. All right, so I'll just continue with my supervisor report. Tentative budget marks the 8th straight year and will stay within 2% tax cap. Try to go quick here. We're maintaining our $1 million budget for paving. We met with the department heads last week, and on November 7th, we will schedule the public hearing for November 27th. Rob Deere will be attending the November 27th meeting, and we hope to vote on the budget at our December 11th meeting. Leafblower Legislation. As I mentioned back in June, our Sustainability Advisory Board has proposed legislation setting forth seasonal limits regarding the use of motorized leaf blowers. And we are setting the proposed local law down for a public hearing for tonight. We'll be setting the local law down for a public hearing for October 23rd. Millwood sidewalk, for everybody in attendance, you might have saw the plans outside the assembly room. The plans for the Millwood sidewalk are 90% complete. And it's expected to be submitted to the state for permitting and land acquisition approval before the end of the year. And as soon as the state permits and approvals are secured, we'll go out to bid on the project. We have this slated for 2019 construction. And the last thing I'll say is thank you to Fuller Center for Housing, formerly known as Habitat for Humanity, for their help during the tornadoes. There were about 10 homes that were out without electricity after all the other residents were pretty much restored. They provided generators and helped with debris removal, and they also partnered with the town of Number project where there were seniors in need. So that's pretty much it for me. On to Jill Shapiro. Shapiro for Administrator's Report.
Thank you. Real quickly about the tentative budget, we're gonna post my budget message online if it hasn't been already. Rob, did it go up yet? Do you know?
I don't
My budget
know.
message? Okay, so I'll make sure it goes up. Rob Deary already posted the tentative budget along with OpenGov, which is a really nice user-friendly analysis of a comparison between the tentative budget for 2019 and our adopted budget for 2018. The town board is going to be considering modifications to the tentative budget based upon its meetings with department heads last week. The modifications will be discussed at our next work session, which is October 16th. Rob Deary will be present at that meeting to discuss those changes and to answer any other questions the board may have about the budget or the budget process. The preliminary budget, the town board's budget, will then be set down for that public hearing on November 27th that Rob mentioned. The Route 120 sidewalk replacement project, the project is actually on hold at the moment. Although the vast majority of that project is complete, the contractor Palladino is awaiting fabrication of the last catch basin. And once that's received, the catch basin and the remaining curb will be installed. The sidewalks will then be complete, and New York State DOT has already assigned a contractor to mill the pavement and repave that section of New York State 120. So it's coming, just that catch basin, really soon. And tomorrow, our staff's actually going to be receiving IT training, specifically addressing cyber threats and learning to have heightened awareness about opening emails with attachments, even if you know the party who has sent it. It's especially challenging in the work environment when it's counterintuitive not to open emails that may be requests for assistance. So there was actually an email that came around today.
Thank you.
I thought to
Good
myself,
timing.
how timely. And
tried to open it.
everyone got to that point and was like, should I open it? Shouldn't I open it? No, don't open it. So the answer is don't open it. I'm thinking it was actually a test of our IT people to see how badly we would do, but it was a good test.
I opened it.
This is why we need
On my
to train.
phone.
I don't know what that does. Anyhow, that's it for us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So now we move on to our.
Can I ask you, I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt, can I just ask real quick? I've gotten a couple emails over the course of the past day from people who were affected by the recent tornado and just having sort of follow-up questions about who to contact at the town should they need help with cleanup activities.
As in brush and debris?
As in fallen trees and brush and debris on the sides of the road and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, anything that's in the town road or town right-of-way, we will remove, so that's a DPW question.
Okay, so they should contact our DPW.
Yeah.
Well, we have that, still have that email, Storm.
Right, storm
In my-
damage.
I think it was just Storm in my Newcastle.org. I'll send an email to Tess, and I'm pretty sure.
Storm damage.
Was it storm damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, storm
Yeah.
damage. I'll add that to my supervisor's report.
Yeah, I think that'd be great because there are just a couple people who are
Yeah,
still
and there's
affected.
actually a question circulating about FEMA reimbursement, and it turns out that we would have to have been declared a federal disaster area.
Right.
So I don't think that's happening.
Right.
The good news is that the damage wasn't that widespread. The bad news is it was all us. So
I was thinking just because maybe it was classified as a tornado, that would be.
yeah, and yeah, I inquired about it too. So sorry.
Okay. So any public comments, new business? All right, so first thing on our agenda is to set the public hearing for the leaf blowers. We have two members of our Sustainability Advisory Board here tonight. Are you here just to answer questions, or did you want to make a presentation?
No,
We'll make the presentation
Setting the
next
hearing.
week.
yeah, when we do the public hearing, they'll do the presentation, so that'll actually be within the minutes of the public hearing.
Okay, no, but I understand, but just,
Yeah.
If you had questions, we would.
you're just here for if we have questions, okay. Does anybody have questions? Regarding, what we're doing is setting the public hearing tonight.
Yeah.
Right. Holly, do you want to do it or?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to set a public hearing regarding a proposed local law amending Chapter 90 of the Town Code concerning motorized blowers for Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018 at 7:30 PM in the Assembly Room of Newcastle Town Hall in Chaplin, New York.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you for coming.
Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Three
Thanks.
copies of
you.
this.
Want to do the next one?
Yeah, I'll keep going, I'll do this page. I make a motion to adopt a local law to create Chapter 95, Article 2 of the Town Code of the Town of Newcastle concerning real property assessment of converted condominium units.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I make a motion to approve amended change order number 5 for ELQ Industries for soil testing, increasing the original amount of $15,000 with an additional $17,301.25, bringing the total amount to $32,500.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What? I move to approve a budget transfer request in the amount of $123,216 from the Highway General Fund to the Highway Salt Line.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the release of a street opening bond to Sarah Helper, 375 Whippoorwill Road, in the amount of $500. The work for this permit was completed within the town's satisfaction.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the release of a street opening bond to Thomas Cavuto and Wendy D. Zenchek Cavuto, 2 Pondfield Drive North, in the amount of $750. The work for this permit was completed to the town's satisfaction.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I authorize the release of street opening bond to 57A JVD Industries Limited, 261 West Lincoln Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, in the amount of $750. The work for this permit was completed to the town's satisfaction.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jill, are we skipping number 8?
Yes.
But these are the ones we actually have the invoice for?
So are we only approving what we've received an invoice for so
Yes.
far
There's
then?
going to be more?
But they haven't.
They haven't
Okay.
told us what else there's going to be, but it would need additional town board approval.
Do we have a proposal
So
for
this
full
is
amount?
just for the design, the website design, and the logo design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer to table this a week until we have a full proposal from
Are we,
them.
does she know to get us one?
No, you mean as far as the full proposal for what? For the actual like ribbon cutting type of thing, like the block party that we talked about?
I think the idea was that we wanted to make
One single payment for Discover Town.
But they're not gonna, yeah, but they're not gonna know as far as what we're gonna do as far as the, sort of the block party type of thing. Right now, they just wanna start working on the website.
But I mean, do we have a written proposal about what their work
Yeah, they do.
entails and the scope of work?
Well, they have a written proposal for the website. Right now, they're just trying to get the website going.
I didn't see that, so you asked for it, I didn't actually see the proposal come in.
It was just an invoice, so it was a partial payment, so the
What does it
6.
include? Is it just a design, does it include upkeep of the website, who's
One second.
updating it and running it and?
Design and development.
So design and development's broad, do we have a sense of what's included?
Oh,
I'm not saying that we're not supportive of this.
no, we could have got some of this stuff in advance, so we could table it, but we could
Oh, no,
get
we
that
didn't send it.
information, you know. We can now ask for that information.
Oh, that's right. Ed had actually created a full resolution, but it doesn't answer it. It's just to create the website.
Yeah, but as far as,
Because I think we should know the whole, block party aside, because maybe we don't know those numbers, but in terms of the whole kind of website and if there's going to be printed materials and a logo, I think we should get a full number and a full understanding of what that costs, because you have to host a website and someone has to update the website and
hosting a website's
who's
like
going to be
$200 a year, it's
doing,
nothing.
yeah,
Well, it's
but
that, but it's also
I wanna-
what depth, what kind of people are going to be included. I mean, just what's going to be included on this website? Is it going to be mobile friendly? Is it just going to be website friendly? Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be fine, but I just think there should be more, specifications. God forbid there should be a conflict.
Okay, listen, if you have any questions, additional information, send it in an email. We'll forward it to them and get the answers. I mean, that's all we can do.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not,
sorry,
you know-
I didn't see a response to
this-
your question that you had sent them.
Okay.
I didn't see any,
And I thought
a
where we
response.
left it, Rob, was that you wanted to just have a sort of single payment that was gonna go to the Discover Chappaqua sort
No.
of project team for all of the activities that they were doing under that project.
Well, we couldn't just do a single thing. What I had suggested after this, well, maybe it was misunderstood, what I suggested after this was that we then give them a budget for the block party. This is just for the website, right now. And we could definitely get more detail as far as this website. But as far as the actual party or the ribbon cutting, whatever you want to call it, that I think we should just give them a budget, and then they have to stay within the budget. They could also get sponsors and other things as well, but that's what I was saying. And we could always just say, we're not going to spend more than X amount on this whole thing.
Okay,
But
so
a lot of the
you-
details aren't worked out yet.
All right, so we just want a complete website proposal, soup to nuts, hosting.
So what's their, because they must have based this price on something.
Right, there's an invoice. So
But if
the
it says
invoice-
website, was it whatever in development, it's kind of short.
Design development
Well,
and
the-
artwork and approval
Well,
logo.
listen, you're right, they set the price, so then they obviously are thinking there's gonna be a certain amount of pages, there's gonna be a
Right.
certain functionality, and we could ask them, basically give us the supporting documentation, how you calculate that price, and when they're calculating a price, they know what's the type of work that's involved, we'll ask them to back it up.
And how many updates they expect over the course of the coming year.
and does this fall within I'm assuming because it's $50 less than $6,000, we don't have to seek other proposals?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Like, does it fall within our guidelines? Right, it's over 3, but then there's something under
But
6,
it's not
right?
being done on behalf of the town, the town is.
We're reimbursing them. They're
We're
not,
paying for it.
right, not the same.
We're providing a grant to the Chamber of Commerce for them to do this. Is that correct?
We are working with the Chamber of Commerce, and there are, yes.
So that's different. We're
this whole-
allowed to-
one
we're
day
allowed
this
Do we need
will-
do we need to
can do
make a
that,
resolution to
501c3.
give a grant to the Chamber of
Well,
Commerce?
I have a resolution from Ed that talks
Okay.
about the fact that the town owns the the website domain and all content and intellectual property hosted on the website shall remain the property of the town. The website shall not be used for commercial advertising purposes. Initially, the website will be administered by Dana Burke and Linda Fears, and the town will establish guidelines for content hosted on the website.
Oh,
Did we
wow.
see this resolution?
So,
Council had a number
taking
of
a step
questions
back,
about that.
I feel like, we have the opportunity with the $1.5 million that the town has received as part of the settlement with Summit Greenfield. We have the opportunity to think creatively about opportunities to sort of improve the lot of our downtown merchants. And this program, Discover Chappaqua, on the website is one component of sort of a larger program, is meant to do that. But I think that the way that we had been conceiving of it was that this was a program run by the Chamber of Commerce, and that the town, could provide a grant to the chamber to implement a series of activities, the website being one of them.
Right, and you have, what you have are two people who are, they're not volunteering their time, but they've taken the initiative to actually get it done. And, people have legitimate questions, we should ask them and get the answers. But unless somebody else is willing to step up and do it, we should just, ask the questions, get the answers, and try to move ahead, because at the end of the day, this is going to help our downtown, because what the goal is here is to do what many other towns have done, which is to highlight, highlight all the good things this town has and why it's a good place to live, to work, and to play. And that's what they're trying to do. And obviously to tie it into the streetscape. This is not a new idea. We've talked about this for a couple months now. But if you have questions about the invoice that was submitted, again, send them over. We'll get the answers. and we'll try to move ahead.
Yeah, I'm certainly
And we
on
have
board
other
with the
ideas,
work.
too.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
mean
on
to-
board
I don't
with the
mean to be-
concept.
yeah,
No,
I
but
just
there
want
might-
to see
there
the
might-
No, I just
resolution.
want to
Just
go back to
looking
a
for the
certain, I just
appropriate-
want to go
There
back.
might be other things we can do too. There might be other
minute.
things we can do too. I'm just saying that this is one component then.
I think there's a
know.
couple of things going on here that I just have questions about structurally, which is if we're providing a grant to the chamber, do we, as the grant providers, control the development, or does the chamber control the development?
You set those parameters.
Well, when you say control the development,
Well,
you mean
who's got
talking about-
approval? Who says this site's done? Who says it's approved, it's ready to release? Is it the chamber? Is it us?
Again,
No, we
let's-
So
own
why don't we talk about this next week?
why don't we
And-
write, but instead of
just
doing
get
it,
these
instead of doing it
answers.
week by week, why don't we, when this came out, like either when we talked about it over the last 2 months or when it came on the agenda, if you have questions, if you need additional information, just send an email, we'll get the answers.
Right, and then we
And then
can talk about it next
we
week.
could try to move ahead, or not, but, you know, again, we have people that are willing to work on it, and we have a downtown we're trying to help, so let's try to,
Yeah, I
let's
think
try to-
everyone's
let's-
for the
let's try
concept.
to, you know, get it done. Okay, so next thing on our agenda would be, let's see what's the next
Nine,
thing.
go ahead, Ivy.
Actually, that's for her, maybe she shouldn't do it, doesn't matter really, but.
No, no,
There, no, 9.
That's the wrong 9.
I move to refer the consideration of sale of town property to the Environmental Review Board for a report and recommendation. This is with regard to the property on,
Located
station.
adjacent to this Shell station.
yes, the Shell station.
Okay,
Nick,
let's move it.
no, there's another one.
There's another resolution. It was in your work session packet. Release amendment. Yep, that looks more like it.
It's in the work session packet, or someone can just take mine.
Go ahead, Paula.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So I move to adopt the following resolution. And this is regarding, Preferred Auto Inc., who owns the gas station over at the intersection of Woodburn and South Greeley. He's proposed to purchase from the town of Newcastle approximately .22 acres of town land, which is adjacent to his property, located to the south and west of the property. And we've confirmed that the town board has confirmed that the area Preferred Auto wishes to use is not parkland, and therefore the town has the ability to convey the same, subject to a permissive referendum. And the town board recognized that the area in question is located adjacent to a brook and a New York State DEC flood protection boundary area. And we want to obtain a report and recommendation from the town of Newcastle's Environmental Review Board as to whether the town should convey this parcel of land, with the understanding that said property will be used as detailed in Preferred Auto's submission. Now therefore be it resolved that the Director of Planning is requested to provide a copy of this resolution and Preferred Auto's April 7th, 2018 letter to the town board, along with other appropriate documentation to inform the Environmental Review Board discussion to the Environmental Review Board, with a request that the Environmental Review Board consider this matter on its next agenda and report back to the town board as to the Environmental Review Board's review of the proposal to convey the town property to Preferred Auto to be used as indicated in its submission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Lisa, your turn now.
You want to go back to me? Okay. I move to accept the following monthly reports for September 2018. Town clerk, court clerk, development department, and receiver of taxes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $315,095.31 listed on the summary pre-check writing report and detailed voucher detail report, each prepared on October 8th, 2018. Checks will be issued and mailed to each claimant listed on Wednesday, October 10th, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will skip this one.
I move to authorize a block party on DeVoe Road between 60 and 290 DeVoe Road on Saturday, October 13th, from 4 to 6 p.m. And the road will be closed during that time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, are you voting?
I said aye.
I will abstain from this.
Mike is losing 3-0.
Okay, I move to authorize the town of Newcastle to apply for a 2018-2019 Justice Court Assistance Program grant.
Second.
All
I
in
move.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve Newcastle's United for Youth entering into an agreement with New York Medical College for DFC grant SP 021434 with a total amount of $12,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to hire the following people to the Recreation and Parks Department for the positions listed and the corresponding wages. David Telesco as recreation attendant to assist with flag football and basketball at the rate of $25 an hour, as well as to assist with special events at the rate of $15 an hour. Matthew Matarazzo for the position of recreation attendant to assist with flag football at a rate of $20 an hour. Marilyn Van Fleet as part-time art center assistant at the rate of $16 an hour, and Annabella Tavera and Julia Cohen as part-time art assistants at the rates of $11 per hour.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move to appoint Lucille Rossi to the Every Person's Connected Committee effective October 10th, 2018 for a term of 2 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move to adopt the anti-sexual harassment policy set forth by Keen and Bean PC in order to be in compliance with New York Labor Law Section 201G, which requires all employers, including municipalities, to adopt, post, and distribute a sexual harassment prevention policy by October 9th, 2018, and to complete specific sexual harassment prevention training annually thereafter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is a skip.
We are?
Yeah, to authorization to accept the proposal.
No, this is
The
the
taxi stand?
I'm sorry, let's add a board on the thing. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay.
So this is a resolution to authorize the taxi company to
Can you
use
look
the
at the one
taxi
that Lisa
stand.
has, because there was.
I have the changes.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas on August 10th, 2018, the town board adopted a resolution to award a contract for the operation of taxi services at the Chappaqua train station to Don John CW Inc., owner of Pleasantville and Hawthorne Car Service. And whereas that company also wishes to use the taxi stand building at the Chappaqua train station on a non-exclusive basis, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes Don John CW Inc. to use the taxi stand located at Memorial Plaza on a non-exclusive basis. And be it further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town administrator to execute an agreement with Don John CW Inc. for the use of the taxi stand building, the terms of which shall be to the satisfaction of the town administrator and shall set forth the annual rental fee, required insurance certificates, and maintenance responsibilities, which shall include paying for electricity. Such agreement shall be subject to review and approval by the town attorney.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is a resolution to authorize a lease amendment for One Station Plaza. Whereas by the lease agreement dated April 1st, 2015, the town of Newcastle leased the Chappaqua train station building located at One Station Plaza to Chappaqua Station LLC and granted an exclusive license to the tenant to place tables, chairs, benches, umbrellas, service stations, and other items consistent with an outdoor cafe on the exterior of the north, south, and west side of the building. And whereas the tenant wishes to utilize a portion of the east side of the building as more particularly described on the plan in Exhibit A, and whereas the town building inspector has reviewed and approved the tenant's exterior seating plan, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town administrator to execute an amendment to the lease agreement to allow the tenant to use a portion of the east side of the train station building as more particularly detailed on the exterior seating plan, Exhibit A, as part of the outside seating area that the term is defined in the lease agreement, provided that the tenant shall continue to comply with other requirements of the lease agreement, and that the additional outside shall be subject to all conditions and obligations set forth in the lease agreement, and that there shall be no increase in the rent, and that the town shall not be legally obligated to incur any cost or expense to facilitate the additional outdoor use, and that said amendment to the lease agreement shall be subject to review and approval of the town attorney.
And there shall be no exterior light.
And that there shall be no exterior live music, lights, or anything attached to the exterior of the building.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Without the consent.
Motion to adjourn.
Anything else? I don't think there is, but anything else? No? Okay. Paula made a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.